So just because this looks so amazing, I'm going to show you very shortly what I'm going to plant. This is our red amaranth, and they are just coming out of the tray now. You can see they're more than ready. I'm going to plant them over here in this nice valley in between some reeds and some nasturtiums, with an avocado tree, fig tree, citrus trees that are here in a line, and there's also some nitrogen fixing bushes below. This is going to be hopefully really vigorous red amaranth production, so we can harvest the leaf for our food forest mix. And to be sure that all this rich compost I added here is not for nothing, I'm probably going to undersow it with something, or direct plant something else. Yeah, always betting on a few more horses, so we are sure that everything will work out fine and our efforts were not for nothing. So to make it a little bit easier to get all the seedlings out, I can show you this. It's a really nice tool. It's just some screws and some plastic, how do you call these things in English? You know how to put them in the wall, but they are not used for that now. So what I'm going to use it for is going to pop out the seedlings. And normally I do this on a table, but it works actually on the field as well. And now most of the plants are loose out of the tray, and it gives me a lot more ease in getting them out. You can see just like that you have a lot of plants without too much struggle. So actually I need all the space for my bed, and I'm going to lay them now on every drip, so I'm ready before you know. So in my enthusiasm to make the video, I really planted this a bit too soon, because I actually should have run with the seeder first. That would basically mean that the seeds would be right under the drip line, and then the plants I plant on my 20 centimeter interval. I will run the seeder anyway now alongside, and I'm seeding summer purslane, which is a little bit drought resistant, and it might actually germinate, not already, but a little later in the spring. So when the amaranth already has some good leaf on it and already starting to shade this area a bit, then I hope that the summer purslane will also take over as a ground cover. In the meanwhile, I'm also direct seeding some peas very close to the amaranth, and I will see how that will work out. Maybe I'll get some pea shoots, maybe I really get peas growing alongside with the amaranth and climbing into them. Of course, all this is a little bit speculative, but the whole point is that we're growing a lot of things together, and nature will crystallize out what will be the right thing to grow at the right time. So we have to trust a little bit in the system. We also have to tune it with our knowledge, with our experience, and that way we will basically get most of the production out of our efforts to initiate a growing cycle. This is the most work, to put something on the ground that really becomes something. So I mean, making a bed, preparing the soil, this is where the work is. planting is actually easy and goes pretty fast. So you should consider always to work all your efforts into preparation. The preparation is the most important. What you will grow in the bed is actually less important, as long as you are in the season with the right crops, and as long as you're trying a few more things than only one, because if one fails, you're basically ending up with a bed that you prepared, which will be eventually taken over by nature, meaning you'll get the weeds. And what we really try to do here is create a ground cover and an overstory with plants that we really like, that we can use. So let's be ahead of time and try to put as many plants where there is water. Everywhere you have water, you should be there with your plants and your seeds. So now we're gonna put the seed in the ground. As you can see, I had to do it pretty securely because of the drip line, but it didn't work out that bad. We have the seed right next to the plants, and hopefully this will get a little bit of spring rain and germinates fine. Eventually, when the roots are established of these little plants that I just, summer purslane that I just seeded, they will also use the irrigation water. So in a way, planting more, it means also using all the irrigation water that you're giving to the soil. Okay, time for the peas. I'm gonna try to direct seed that. So now, as you can see, peas are in the ground, red amaranth is planted, and there is purslanes, summer purslane seeded. Of course, you have to look at the architecture of these plants that you're going to put in the ground. So the purslane has a ground cover architecture. If you're looking at the amaranth, it goes pretty tall. It makes a lot of shade in the beginning, but eventually it will be a very tall plant. And the peas have also climbing characteristics, so they are likely to climb into whatever grows next to them. Everything that doesn't work out in this system is basically a form of nutrition for the system. So you could say any seed that doesn't germinate because it's not viable will be feed for the soil. Any plant that doesn't get enough light or is in a too cold position or in a too windy position or whatsoever is not helping the plant to grow well will become also feed for the soil, will become some kind of mulch in a way. Now, the plant that will flourish, that will be very, very happy, is the one that will take over the system and will be basically our yield. If anything in this system is going well, it's probably the amaranth, as it is already established and it just needs to root together with the water that we will give it. There's plenty of nutrition, there's compost. So this is basically the main horse we're betting on. If there is a lot of open soil below in the future, there's another opportunity. So later on in the growing cycle of this system, you could decide to add another seed or plant. In this case, it could be very interesting to plant a butternut pumpkin, for example, which can be direct seeded in a month from now or two. And this will then also have a ground cover characteristic, and it will take over anything below the amaranth. This is how you can analyze planting, looking at the architecture of the plants. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, let's hope that these small plants soon will get a really nice growth. A little detail that I almost forgot to mention is that when I am ready with this, not always, but in many occasions, I put a little bit of this row cover, especially now in the spring when it's still really cold. This will protect the compost from birds, cats, and yeah, anything that actually might want to erode it. At the same time, it gives a little bit of extra heat, so the plants have a little bit of a greenhouse effect inside, which is very beneficial to let them grow faster. This cloth is a little bit synthetic. It lets water through, so rain and irrigation water, if you would irrigate it on the top, which I will in a bit, just to give it a good start, and then I will let the drip line take over. So it's something you can reuse a lot of times, so it's really nice to help protect the bed initially. So in this beautiful system, we have avocado tree right next to it. We have this nitrogen fixing Heliagnus. We have a fig tree, which is about to flower. And there's a chop and drop acacia tree right here with citrus below it. Citrus is looking much better already. It has been a bit old and looking old like this, these old leaves, but now we get a really beautiful citrus tree, and it's coming along. And as we will chop this and all this reddish, which is coming up here in the spring with the spring rain, and there's a poplar tree coming up, and there's here another avocado tree right below the fig tree, which was not intentionally, but it happened, and now we deal with it. Abundance. And willow, really nice, with another citrus. The citrus tree also needs a little bit of cleaning. You can see all these nasturtium right below it are taking a little bit over the light opportunity, and we will chop and drop some of these reddish as well. So this is the system right next to our beautiful red amaranth, which soon comes along. Another fig, and yeah, hopefully everything will get enough light. Hopefully the amaranth gets tall enough, fast enough, before all this starts closing. It's an interesting perspective. You can see we're now, well, you cannot see it in the video maybe, but this is this is east-west, and normally we would plant on north-south, which would give you much more sun. And as you can see, during the day, during the hottest part of the day, this canopy of trees will all come and leave, or canopy, all this tree line will come and leave, and will shade this area. So we hope the amaranth will come through fast enough, and at the same time we will have to prune and give enough lighted opportunity for this area here. So it has benefits, as it will not shade out, will not dry out so fast, but it also something to realize when you're planting east to west, that you can create a lot of shade, and this has to be managed. Oh yeah, and these pins are there, just some metal to make this cloth stuck. This is how I end the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to show you the results soon. Thank you for watching.